Welcome to Daddies the Podcast, featuring Eric and Greg. Join them each week as they hang with a new guest to talk about who they are, their why, and the stories that come up along the way. Thank you for being a part of the Daddies community.
I wonder how many people are just sitting in front of, it's like a curtain and then just like a bunch of shit. It has to be like everybody, right?
Everybody,
just
for sure.
Yeah.
But
Right.
there's a lot of backdrops that are like cool shit. Mine is we haven't cleaned this room in a while.
Right. Exactly. Bonus space.
I bought a backdrop, and I accidentally just bought the curtain and not like the whole kit.
The rack.
I didn't buy the actual like poles. So so we
So
actually
what you
had
could
to
do
mount.
is have your wife just hold up the curtain behind
The whole
you while
time.
you're the whole time.
Each episode is really miserable.
And you just hear, oh, my arms are getting tired. You just hear her off microphone.
Hey
Starts to
Brian,
shake.
we were talking to Seth last night from The Hire, and he was like, you got it. He said, I love the guys from Tokyo Rose. You got to tell them that we want to do more shows with them when they come through. So
Awesome.
wanted to pass that along.
Got to make that connection.
Yeah, right.
Love those guys, man. We've been talking with Seth for a little bit, trying to make it happen.
Have you guys played with them before?
We did a couple tours with them, like way back.
Yeah, okay.
20 years
Yeah.
ago. And then we've been
Isn't
trying to
that
make it
crazy
happen now.
That
Is it
crazy long ago?
Is it weird thinking like, all right, yeah, we toured with them 20 years ago. So like if you do more shows, is it like kind of getting old friends back together? Or is it like now that we're all old, like does it feel weird kind of,
We've
or
kind
is
of
it just like,
we've kind of kept in touch, and then we kind of like dropped off for a bit, and then like you pick up like old friends, especially people you've like been on the road with, those shared experiences, sleeping on the floor, sharing motel rooms, sharing the same bed,
A lot different now.
Yeah.
No one's doing that at this age.
yeah, right.
Yeah, no, not on the floor.
Yeah, right. I don't think any of us can sleep on the floor.
Yeah, no way.
God.
I'd be
Put
out
me
of
in a
commission.
wheelchair the next day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. I was on your Instagram, and I don't know if the show already passed, but did I see that you guys it already passed, or you are playing with Park?
We are. Yeah, that's coming up in November.
That I remember seeing Park here in Delaware at the Harmony Grange
Nice.
20 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't know who they were. It was one of those bands where I went in, and that was the cool thing about the Grange. We were talking about this last night, and you would see bands, you would know one, but then you'd get 5 other bangers too
totally.
with it. And Park played, and holy shit, they were fantastic.
Oh, man. It's like the best band. Like a band's band. Yeah, like
Yeah.
super
Park, like literally
technical.
P-A-R-K. Yeah, they were just
Like,
good.
yeah.
Is this one of those, this is your band's favorite band kind of bands?
Yeah, definitely one of our favorite bands to
Yeah.
tour with. Like just super talented, down to earth dudes, and like tear it up every night.
And so they're still doing it. Like they're still out there.
Yeah, so
fucking
we're all kind of like getting back together.
Yeah.
You mentioned Park. We're flying out to Chicagoland to play with them and Junior Varsity and a couple, other Chicagoland bands for like a long weekend in November.
Is it so? Okay, so when you used to tour, and you would tour everywhere, I guess flying wasn't really. Would you guys drive? Is that kind of how it used to? Or would you fly for some shows and drive, or was it mainly driving in a van?
Mainly
versus-
driving in a van. Absolutely. Yeah, we'd get in the van and drive. Sometimes we'd start in Jersey and then kind of loop around and come back, end the tour in Jersey, or end where the other bands were from. So Park, we'd end in Springfield, Illinois, or St. Louis or something, and then pick up maybe another 3 or 4 shows on the way home.
So it's definitely a lot easier just to go to. Do you guys fly out of Philly, or just
Yeah. So I'm in North Jersey, and our drummer Sean is in North Jersey, and then Chris and Matt, our bass player and lead guitar player, are in the Philly area. So yeah. Sometimes we'll all fly out of Philly, or we'll meet up where we're going.
I feel like that has to be so much easier. Just to, all right, we'll be there in 2.5 hours versus, well, it's going to take 2 days.
Oh yeah.
You know?
The drive thing. I can't do that anymore. I know, Greg, you still do the drive to like Florida every once in a while.
is like kind of where I'll cap wanting to drive, you know,
like straight,
and that's still long. No, so when my wife and I, so my in-laws live in Jacksonville, and so we're in Delaware, and we would drive, and it was just the two of us all day long. Like, cool, we'll just drive it straight. But we have 2 kids now, so it's like, man, we got to stop. So we stop in like North Carolina, about a little under halfway there. That drive sucks.
Oh yeah,
it does. But it would suck even more like driving it straight with 2 young kids.
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
without a doubt.
You've got to have drugs for you and drugs for your children.
Yeah,
to make it through that drive. Okay,
there you go.
But the problem is, like, with driving, I mean, so okay, then you have to factor in a hotel. You know, so it's like I want to stay in somewhere safe. Like, I don't want to get like when it was just the 2 of us, I would like if it was kind of shady,
right?
Whatever. But when you have kids, it's like I don't want to completely stay in a complete shithole.
Yeah. Totally.
So then you're factoring in cost to drive, to the hotel. Gas is fucking expensive. Food
and your time.
And
your
time. Time is money.
That's right. That's what I say.
Yeah.
I'm all about, I think now I'm about to be in the stage of life where I want to do more trips, like trips that I don't do all the time. Like we used to go to Outer Banks every year.
Right.
We don't do that anymore. We have some friends that have a boat and they go to the lake every like 4th of July. And I think we're okay with that. It's a little cheaper than Outer Banks, but I'm trying to like get a new credit card and get some bonus miles.
Yep.
You know, there's like those offers.
Yep.
I really want to nail this down. And there's like a guy on the internet
points guy?
It's like the points guy.
Yeah.
Yes, I just had a friend that was telling me about this today. I'm gonna be
shout out the points guy.
Yeah. I'm gonna see what he can do for me, and open up a new credit card and like kind of need a new TV. So maybe I'll buy a new TV and just like. Boom.
There you go.
50,000 miles, whatever the deal is. I'm trying to maximize some big purchase so that we can go. We might be going to Ultra Festival in Miami this year, or like in March. So, and I've never been to an EDM show before, but I'm hype on it. And I don't know if I should be starting with like, I feel like that's like Mecca almost. Like it's like the big one.
Sure.
Or one of the really big ones. So I'm not sure what to expect.
Yeah, are EDM shows like, or maybe I'm mistaken, are they always in water? Like, why do I feel like whenever you go to like a show with a DJ, you're in a pool full of just piss?
That's like Las Vegas. They do the DJs do like pool sets.
That's true. Like Aoki.
Yeah.
I'll just do it
outside
the pool.
And then he'll just hit you in the face with a cake.
We used to, it's like a big sheet cake. Yeah. We saw him in Atlantic City at a pool. I've seen Aoki in Atlantic City. I think it's Oceans is the hotel up there, and they do exactly what you're saying. And we've seen Tiesto, I think, twice.
Okay.
And then we were going to see, like, the next day after we went to the Tiesto show, Shabuzi. They were, like, giving out free tickets to the Shabuzi show after the Tiesto show, like, the very next day. Get people to stay one more day in Atlantic City. So, but I did not get sheet caked when we saw Aoki.
Well, does he miss? Or does he always hit his target?
Well, I don't think that they post the misses. You only see the hits. So I don't know. The hits.
But like, dude, sheet cakes are expensive too. So like, that's crazy.
Unless you have a Costco membership,
Has to. And like, do you think they'll like imagine you're a baker and you're like, hey, we need a sheet cake, and you put all this time and effort just to see him.
This is my master.
He just palms it, starts spinning it on his finger, and he goes whack.
That's awesome.
Or it might be an honor.
Right.
Sure.
No doubt.
Hey, I've made 7 cakes that Steve Aoki, threw in someone's face.
He's his cake guy.
You're cake guy. Yeah, right.
Yeah. It's like Duff from Charm City Cakes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Greg, you used to buy those, right? Don't they sell them like frozen or something? Or they'll ship them to you?
They do.
Yeah.
So I'm big into buying frozen. So we were just talking about St. Louis, Emo's Pizza out there.
Whoa.
Buying their pizza frozen and getting it. So my wife is from like the St. Louis area and getting them shipped in. And so, Eric, I don't know, Ryan, if you've ever had them, but like it's a super thin crust. They almost call it like a graham cracker crust.
Oh.
And they use Provel cheese, which is kind of, exclusive to that area. And it's just like a blend of multiple cheeses. And it's just so good. It's a very rich pizza in terms of like, I guess
Monopoly Man rich.
Monopoly Man. I don't even want to say flavor, but it's just like a very heavy pizza. But
so like you don't get the big fat slice. You're getting like a modest slice.
Well,
and
they
then you
cut
say,
it.
"Wow, that was
circular,
filling."
but they cut it into it's cut into like a square.
Oh,
yeah.
All right.
You mean like a party pizza?
No, it kind of, but like
it's circular.
Yeah, it's circular, and then it's the square beyond, or the square something. I don't want to say beyond repair. That doesn't sound right. But it's something the square. Anyone, and mainly emos, if you're listening,
Nice.
please sponsor us.
Absolutely.
with pizza, right?
With pizza. That's why we're doing this entire episode.
Money's cool, but we can get money elswer. We can't get that pizza elsewhere.
We can't get pizza. So please, the three of us would like pizza.
Right.
So
I'm down. Totally down.
So Ryan, how is it though to like be back and you're doing it and doing all these shows? Like, is it still cool? All these, again, still super fun, and all these years later.
It's fun in a different way, because like it hurts afterwards. You're like achy. Some things are sore, but I think it's fun to just like play music again with some old friends, And I was telling somebody else this. Matt, who plays the guitar, and Sean, who plays drums. They were both in Tokyo Rose, but they were never in Tokyo Rose at the same time. So it's like this combination. It's like a Voltron of like the best members of Tokyo Rose with Chris and I. And it's like, oh, this is a lot of fun because like we can just jam and, just really enjoy playing the songs. And we like throw different parts in and stuff. And we always like turn around and look at each other like, oh, that was cool. And so that's really fun. And then like, reconnecting with old buddies, like jumping on stage. Like when like Beautiful Mistake is like doing a scream part or, stuff like that. It's been really fun.
And like, so, okay, you've been playing these songs for a long fucking time, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm always curious. So is it just kind of in here? Like you know them, you don't forget them, even if you didn't play it for a year, like, or is it like, oh fuck, I'm super rusty, I need to like, or I forgot, or do you just like, is it all just in here?
A lot of it is. Sometimes I'll like reverse the words or like, because it's just like dad brain.
Sure.
Like it's all like,
Yeah, right.
Like that's not what I thought I was going to say, but it made sense right now.
Yeah.
It's always interesting. I think like, I mean, I play guitar and it's that, but I can remember guitar lines. I can't remember lyrics. I have such a difficult time with lyrics. I can't fucking do it. I don't know why. I can like memorize a chorus and that's about it.
Right.
And so it's always impressive to me, especially if you're playing guitar and singing.
Right.
Like that to me is just, I can't wrap my head around that.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out a way to do like a cheat sheet for a couple of the songs, but like we just practiced them so many times before we'd hit the road.
Well, I saw people were bitching, and I think it was Patrick Stump from Fall Out Boy, and he had like a teleprompter with his lyrics in front of him.
Oh, wow.
And they were like, "Oh, you can't remember all of your songs." Someone was like, "Dude, Fall Out Boy has like 100+ songs,
and
like,
the lyrics
who
are
cares?
mad complicated too.
Yeah,
And
right.
so what if he can't? Like, so
who
what?
cares? Right.
Yeah,
Are you there to see him play, or at least he's not faking it
that's
and just
true.
like trying to lip sync or something?
Well,
like, it's
yeah, right,
better
because that
way.
looks worse.
That's
true,
yeah.
Especially lip syncing. Lip syncing is heinous, especially with bands. I mean, like, I'd rather you just sing nothing.
I get a
microphone.
backing track.
Backing tracks
if
are
you're-
fine.
yeah,
Sure.
I think that's cool, but
Mhm.
don't fake it. Like it's got to be obvious that it's a backing track and not you just going like,
Right.
Well, I mean, because the one that I think of is, was it Ashley Simpson on SNL?
Yep.
Do you remember
I think so.
the whole like hoedown incident?
Yeah, and
where
that's
she
like a
just danced
6
off the-
degrees of separation from Fall Out Boy too, right? Because she
Right.
was married to Pete Wentz for a bit.
Right.
oh wow.
And then, ironically enough, Pete Wentz grew up in Wilmington, Delaware, because that's apparently where his grandpa lived.
Did he
Oh, wow.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, I
That-
didn't know that.
I mean, I saw Fall Out Boy live. They opened, or Panic opened for that. I can't remember, but he was like, "Yeah, we're super close to. I grew up in Wilmington, Delaware, or I think like northern, like Wilmington, Delaware. But yeah, his grandpa lived here,
Oh, that's
Wow.
and so we spent a lot of time here. Yeah. So also, we're kind of, we have connected roots.
Yeah, he
with
must have been
Fall
to
Out
the
Boy.
Grange for sure.
Probably.
So I think they played there once, and I was going through the Grange, like the list of every band that came through.
No way, that's awesome.
And there was one show in like 2002, and it was brand new, like from first to last, like My Chem,
right.
and like I think Paramore or like some, and I was like,
Wow.
these are all
That's
like
sick. Because
like
those bands would never play at Delaware
right.
any
anymore.
of those bands. You're not getting or if you get them, you're getting them at Firefly. You know, you're
Right.
not getting them. You're getting them at a
Yeah.
festival. You're not getting them at and the Grange is long gone,
Right,
but you're
yeah.
not getting them at events like that.
What was
you know?
the Grange anyways before like that became a venue?
So the Grange is a farmers used to use it to go there and I guess talk about their crops, or the other people would bid on their crops. And so Harry, who used to run it
Right.
with Lisa, they would rent it from whoever owned it, and they would pay that person money every show. And then eventually they shut it down because I guess the bathroom, there was like something with the bathroom issue, and I guess someone reported it. And
Like an occupancy thing.
well, I guess you need working bathrooms,
Yeah.
right? So
That helps. Yeah.
so now it's becoming, I don't think it is yet, but it's becoming a daycare.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is
So it's
a weird
just
thing
sitting
for it to
there.
be. Yeah.
Amen.
And every time I drive past it, Eric lives super close
I
to
do,
it, and
yeah.
every time I drive by it, it's just like, man, all the memories there.
Memories.
Yeah.
Nothing like that, man. Especially
Totally.
here in Delaware, you know.
I just
And
remember
like,
driving down was it Route 1
yo,
with like
Yeah.
Ryan's Steakhouse and then like turning off towards the Grange. It's like
yeah.
memories, man.
and I'll tell you, you don't remember this, but I was in a band back in 2007, and we opened for you guys.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And you know, I completely forgot about that until we got this episode, you know, squared away. And I was going through my old, you remember Photo Bucket?
Oh yeah.
And I was like, wait, it was you, and then Moros Eros, or
Okay.
and
Sounds
then like
familiar.
I think Demira, maybe.
Sure.
Yeah, and then us, and I
No
was
way.
like, and the only reason that
Greg, what was the name of your band, of that band that you were
Heroes
playing
and
in?
Heroines, and we opened
that's a good name.
for you guys, and we were shit, but it was cool because we were doing like that was something in high school for us. The Harmony Grange, if you played there, like that was a huge accomplishment.
totally.
And so, and the reason we got to play there was because we recorded our album with Harry, and that was
Oh.
one of the perks. You record with me and you pay me, you can play a show.
Nice.
Cool.
And that's how, yeah. So I completely forgot about
Wait,
that.
that's like a pay to win microtransaction
Eric, a
in
lot
video
of
games
those,
now.
But Eric, you probably don't know this. A lot of those venues, you would have to pay for the tickets, and then
Right.
you recoup your money by selling
selling
those
them.
tickets to people.
Right.
Yeah.
Like a party promoter type
So
thing.
but it would be tough when you're poor, you
Right.
know, and you're this broke kid, and they're like, okay, well, $200 to play, essentially.
And
Right.
you better just know X amount of people to make your money back.
But I'll tell you, Ryan, I don't know. Do you remember the Auto Bar in Baltimore?
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah, right. We played one time there with Memphis Mayfire.
Nice.
And that was what, 2011? Yeah, like 2011. And we still had to sell tickets there.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, right. And so like every opening band had to sell tickets, and I remember going outside the venue the day of and then trying to sell them for $2 cheaper
Right.
to the people in line, not realizing that was a huge no-no.
Right.
So the guys working the venue were like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Like that's, you're scalping, but not really, but you're scalping our sales essentially.
Right.
So, but when did you guys ever have to sell? I mean, not when you were like headlining stuff, but was that something that you had to do too? Sell tickets?
Oh yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
So our buddy Mike Glitta, who
Census Fail.
yeah, he was in Census Fail. He used to play drums in Tokyo Rose back in the day.
I just learned that today, by the way. That's
Okay.
fucking awesome.
Yeah, he's still a good friend, and
Yeah.
he found tickets from when we had to sell tickets, and it was like we had to sell tickets to open our first Starting Line in Movie Life. There was another show, I think, at the Birch Hill nightclub that was like in the small stage. We had to sell tickets to play with All American Rejects, I believe. And there were there were a few of those venues that had promoters that would do that would require that. And even like kind of later on, after we had, started recording, there were some shows that were like, hey, our friends are on it. So the promoter would be like, yeah, you could play, but you have to sell tickets to get on it.
And so like, I just like can't wrap my head around. I mean, I guess I understand where the promoter's coming from, but I like getting the money, especially when you're young. I mean, and it wasn't cheap.
No.
And then trying to hustle to your friends who are also broke.
Yeah.
That's the toughest part. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's it's a step above selling Cutco knives.
Right.
Like when you were in high school.
right.
Yeah.
Or what else was there back then? I mean, there's a ton of those things. I had a friend that sold Herbalife drinks.
Herbalife, or like, do you remember, like, I don't know, the Pampered Chef?
Oh, yes.
Like,
Oh, well, that was our mom's thing.
That was her
Pampered
mom.
Chef.
Yeah,
but that's
us
Longa
now.
Burger baskets. That was you. That was the punk rock version of
There you
Longa
go.
Burger baskets.
Yeah, right. Just slinging tickets. But I mean, that's what you had to do. And it wasn't every show. I remember there was a show here in Middletown where I live at the Everett Theater, and Punchline. It was Punchline and Alistair.
Oh, wow.
And like, yeah. And it was awesome, but same deal. You better sell tickets or you don't get to play.
Yep.
They got to make sure they get their money, right?
Oh yeah, that's all it comes down to.
I bet it happened. I bet it's happened where they say, yeah, you can play, and then it's just an empty house.
Right.
Well, right, but and you're not making you're not making really any money.
No, you're not.
Like playing, you know, so
like
you're not
$2
getting
a
rich.
ticket, basically.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you're getting your money back maybe. And I think what we used to do, I would just sell the tickets to my mom.
Right.
Like she would say, okay, here's $150.
Right.
And then I would then give them out to my friends.
There you go.
It's nice.
There you go,
You
Mom.
know, and yeah, right.
Good job.
Yeah. But like it still sucks, you know,
yeah.
like that's shit.
Oh,
So
yeah.
but do you think that's probably still a thing, right?
Sadly, I think it is still a thing.
Yeah.
Because, it's a time-honored tradition, basically. And I think especially if it's like an out-of-town, even if it's a national band, if it's an out-of-town band, they want to make sure that they have a full house for them.
So I guess, I don't know, like for me, when like we would go to the Grange, how were these bands like, and how are you guys merch? Was that the bread and butter essentially?
Basically, yeah, it was merch. It was, if you were lucky enough to be signed to a label that would like front you CDs, that would be it. And sometimes they'd give you like extras like posters and pins and stickers and stuff that you could sell.
I still, even now when I go to a show, like it's different if I go to, I guess it's the Xfinity Center now.
Right.
But like you buy a t-shirt and I'm like, motherfucker, it's like $55.
It's nuts, man.
And I'm buying it from like hoodies are like $80.
Totally.
But I feel when I go to like a small show and I see like, oh wait, you were just playing guitar in the band.
Right.
Now I want to buy that shirt. Here's $30 because I know that means a lot more than, I love the 1975, but their shirts were like $65 a pop, and I know they're already making a ton of money.
Right.
Anyway.
Right.
So there's a total difference between the two.
I think the last time I did that, I saw that happen. It was it might have been Bit Brigade. They're like if you haven't heard, they're like they play the music of the video game that they have one guy playing. So he's the fifth member of our band,
right?
And he plays the Nintendo, the NES controller, and he's got the little glove on, and he'll like play a game, and the band backs the game with the music that sounds just like it, and they try to time it with his
all
jumps or whatever is going on.
Yeah.
It's very cool. But they were playing, I think they opened up for Galactic Empire, which they have another show coming up in November, I think. And I think I might be trying to go to that. I think they're playing in Baltimore. But I went over to the table and I said, oh, I like that shirt a lot. And he says, it like warmed his heart. And he said, I drew that one. Thank you so much. And I had to buy it at that point.
So you did buy it?
I did buy it.
Okay.
I didn't want to say, oh, I like that shirt.
Okay, well, buy it.
No, I had to buy that shirt then. I did want to buy it anyway, but
yeah, totally.
I love that.
But it definitely is a lot better when I'm handing you the money directly for something you design and something that's going to help you get to the next place to put gas
Pay
in
for
your,
gas,
yeah, right, and maybe eat something that's not a pack of fucking ramen that's raw.
Totally.
Can I also say, so years ago I was recording, and the dude who was recording the album, and I don't know if this is a thing, and maybe I'm just stupid. Someone else came over and he said, "Hey, do you want some ramen?" And he was like, "Yeah." And he gave him just a raw pack, and they just sat there and ate the raw noodles from the bag.
Wow.
I mean, they're all right.
But like, that's not how you're supposed to consume them.
No.
But like, how common is that? Is that like, who's fucking doing that?
I mean, I've never been handed ramen without, like, there's the microwave. There's the
a
sink.
bowl.
Yeah.
Right. You need three things: a microwave, a bowl, and ramen and water. So I guess 4 things, and you have ramen.
Right.
That's it.
I've been on a real ramen kick lately. Putting mayonnaise in my ramen.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, very little water and peanut butter. I know the combination of the two of those things sounds really
then
gross.
You're making like a pad thai.
Kind of.
Right?
And you just add enough water to make it like, you want it to sound like mac and cheese.
Right.
You want it to sound like that.
It's not brothy.
No, not brothy at all. It's really just like moist noodles with peanut buttery moist noodles.
Nice.
Love it. I want it. I'm going to make some after this, actually.
Peanut buttery
sounds great.
moist noodle is such a funny.
That's my next band name right there.
Yeah,
peanut buttery moist noodle.
Get that on a t-shirt. So now I feel like I want to ask everyone who's in a band this question. I asked Seth this, and I'm curious about like when you're on tour and like if you ever have bad blood with any of the bands you're touring with, or like 20 years ago, like beefing with bands, and like if that makes touring, like if that would ever kind of like hinder the tour, like if that was something where you just like sucked it up because you had to do what you had to do, or like, did you ever say, "Fuck this tour, we're out"?
So, wow. I mean, we were just talking about this. There was only one tour that we ever felt that. And we actually were on like a 3-band tour. We were all kind of like we had all released an album, and we were touring that album. And sorry, that's the washing machine.
No, you're good.
In the multi-purpose space.
Right on me, yup.
And so we were touring, and like the shows were decent, like maybe 200 kids, and then there were a couple shows that were really down. The weather was getting bad. It was in the middle of the winter, and then we got like snowed in at a person's house that we were staying, and like all 3 bands were like, the girl put us up because she had like a bigger house. Her parents had a bigger house, and we got snowed in, and there was like a power outage. So they had this like like a separate freezer with all this like meat and like stuff that was gonna go bad. So there's like, you're here like perfect timing because the freezer, like we have to eat it all, and like it was kind of starting to go south with the band that we were playing. One of the bands we were playing with, and they had a tour manager, and we were like, "What's a tour manager?" Like, we've been touring for a couple of years. Like, we just do things on our own, Like, the most we've had was like a merch guy who was like a cousin or a roommate or something.
Right.
And he was kind of like running the show for them, but then like kind of running the show for everybody. And he was like, he was trying to do too much for a person who wasn't in any of the bands and who hadn't really toured before. And that kind of rubbed us the wrong way. But after that kind of like snow in, and like we all had to bro down because we were in, this girl's family's house. Like we were able to kind of like work stuff out, but that was kind of the only real time where there was kind of like a beef because of tour manager.
I see.
So like, do tour managers, if you have one, do they always ride with you like on tour? Like, I guess that's kind of in their name, but like they're there
if they weren't there.
Yeah, I didn't know if they just do the scheduling, but they actually come along for the ride.
Yeah, so there's like a booking agent who kind of like does the routing and the venues and stuff, and gets you on the bill. But then there's a tour manager who's kind of like a day of. He or she takes care of like what time you have to be there, what time is load in, kind of like if there's a merch cut for the venue, like they help settle up all that and like guarantees and essentially just trying to make it as smooth as possible so that the band just has to only think about getting there and playing and then interacting.
I guess that is nice, but also couldn't you just like do that yourself if you really had to?
Yeah.
I mean, like, right? I mean, that's one less person that has to get paid.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's right. And one less person to fit in the van.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And one less person to have beef with.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Speaking of beef, some food in the freezer. Were you guys cooking it over like a campfire? Did you have a grill out back? If
Yeah,
there was
they
a power outage?
They had a gas grill out back.
Perfect.
You had to like dig it out of the snow.
Yeah, they put you to work. They said
Yeah.
you could shovel the driveway, you could cook the food.
Totally.
Yeah, but like, I mean, I'm sure that eating that food was probably so much better than eating what?
Oh, yeah, Taco
burrito
Bell
from
or
Taco
something.
Bell.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Although there might have been burritos in the freezer too.
That's
and then
true.
you just toss that on the grill, just put
Right.
it on the indirect, or like up on the little
There you
crates up
go.
top.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I remember playing a show in Townsend, which is just like in the middle of nowhere here in Delaware with I don't know if you remember the track record
Yeah. Okay.
and Rookie of the Year.
Yep. Nice.
And we all stayed at our like my friend's house, and I remember in the morning his dad like, "Hey, do you guys want pancakes?" And the dudes in the band, I've never seen people eat so much fucking food. Like for me, it was like, oh, I'm eating at home,
Yeah.
like I have home cooked meals every day.
Right,
But
right.
like just like so appreciative, but just devouring
Right.
food because I guess it's not fast food. It's legitimate home cooked. And they were just waffles, but they were fucking devouring them.
Right.
It was probably Bisquick.
For sure.
Yeah,
For
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
It's always Bisquick.
Bisquick fucks though. Bisquick is
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
good.
Well, but it's got to be the Bisquick where you put the eggs in, like not the
Yeah.
instant with water.
Just add water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
and then like a dash of vanilla extract.
I want real, like
Mhm.
Right.
like a real. Or we do the what is it, the Kodiak cakes?
Oh, there you go.
which are just
Yeah.
same
Little
thing, but
extra protein.
powder, yeah.
Yeah. Good buff up.
So you have a bunch of shows coming up, actually, right? Like I'm looking through the Instagram now, and or are these? Did these already happen? Sometimes I get confused if things are pinned. No, it looks like there's So, November, December. So you guys are still fucking in it, doing it.
Yeah, man. It's it was about a year ago this time where we were like getting ready to do one reunion show. Like we hadn't done one. And our buddy John Damiano, who runs Emo Night Karaoke, which is like the live band that does, a bunch of bars and venues and they have people come up and sing. He hit us up and he was like, "Hey, why haven't you guys done a reunion?" And we're like, "I don't know. It's been like over like a decade and a half, like we were like, it's been like 18 years. We kind of thought we were just like, we forgot about it, like we were all playing in different acts and different things. I hadn't really done music since then. I had like done a couple things here and there with like on Friends records and stuff, but nothing like,
Yeah.
like Tokyo Rose related. And he was like, "Yeah, really? Like, why haven't you?" And we're like, we don't know. But, he reached out to each of us, Chris and I, and then we reached out to Matt and Sean. They're like, "Yeah, let's do it." And then one show sold out. So then we did it. That was in Jersey. And then we did a show in Philly that sold out. And then we got added to a bill in Brooklyn. And that was all like in the weekend after Thanksgiving. And then we didn't do anything until Catch-22 came back into North Jersey. And we played with Catch-22 and shut down.
Okay.
And then we were like, okay, like there's still, some appetite for this. And so we started to do shows after that in May down in Asbury Park and Atlantic City and then Philly again. And then in July, we flew out to the West Coast to play with Audio Karate, Watashi Wa, and The Beautiful Mistake. And then we did a bunch of shows with Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, which is really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So how was that? Because that's what was that a month ago ish?
Yeah, in July.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And how have you played? Like, did you ever play with them before?
We never played
Or
with them directly. Like
Yep.
we rubbed shoulders and elbows at Warped throughout,
Okay.
the different times we played Warped. And then it was just their agent put us on the bill, got us on the bill. And we played with them, and then two other bands were kind of more up and coming. A band called Losers Club from like upstate New York. They had just gotten off the tour with Simple Plan. And then a band called Morning in May, who was really good friends with Ronnie from Red Jumpsuit. So he took them out on like a full nationwide tour. We just did a long weekend, but it was a really good time.
I love that I'm seeing bands like that bring like some of these bands kind of coming back and having their resurgence, like, I mean, because the Red Jumpsuit Apparatus are fucking awesome, right? And
Yeah.
like they've been awesome but like it's cool that like, hey, you guys are back and you get to go play now for an audience also who may not have heard you before, and now
Right.
you're kind of
Mhm.
bringing that music to a new generation and us old people too.
Totally.
The
bread
Yes.
and butter is what they
Yeah,
call
right.
us.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no.
We're just there.
Greg, I forgot to tell you, Shay, my wife, she was a super hype. Spill Canvas is going to
Oh,
Philly
nice.
2 Fridays from now, and she asked if I wanted to go, and it's been her favorite band like ever.
Aren't
Like
they
she
playing
used to.
with May?
They are. I
Yeah.
just fucking found that out. She
Yeah,
told
yeah.
me that, and I said, "Oh my god, why didn't you tell
And
me?"
it's
So
Caller
I'm-
Fred. Is Fred doing that like acoustic?
Oh, is he?
I think he
I'm not
is.
sure.
Okay, that's like
So,
check it.
I
So-
might try to go to that show. It's 2 weeks from the day
Wait,
that
I
we're
wanna go,
recording this.
because it's probably the 20th of the Everglow.
Probably.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we had Dave on about a year ago, and we were talking about, I guess he was just coming off of, we were talking about the 20th of the Everglow, and he was like, well, we don't want to do a tour unless we can figure out like who we can do it with. And I think the Spill Canvas are also doing a 20th.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna try to go to that show. She
Wait, I
said
wanna
tickets
go.
hadn't sold out. It's 2 weeks from. It's the 17th.
Yeah, well, thanks for the invite.
I mean, she invited me, and I said, I don't know about
I
Spill
do wanna-
Canvas like
I
that.
do
and
wanna
then, yeah, all right.
I'm going to go see May
Well,
and
we'll
Spill
talk.
Canvas.
We'll talk. I don't know where it's at. It's in Philly somewhere. I'm not sure. So
Nice.
Dave was such a nice, he was one of the first, like he was one of our first guests.
Awesome.
And what a nice dude.
He really
Like,
is. Yeah.
Super
like,
nice guy.
Yeah.
yeah,
And, you never know, like, especially when we first started, like, we didn't know what we were doing, but also, like, really how to even interact with people. Yeah, we knew how to talk to each other, and he, like, after the interview ended, showed us around his studio and just,
cool.
like, talked to us. And, like,
Mhm.
he was just, a super genuine dude. So, yeah, I definitely want to go. And, are you guys coming through Philly anytime soon?
We are. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to say Silk City Diner.
Okay.
December 14th, I think. I think it's a Sunday.
Okay.
a couple months from now. Okay,
Yeah.
All right.
Silk City Diner. I have to look into that.
Yeah, I've not been there before. Like the venues that we played, 20 years ago aren't really around anymore. Like Pontiac Grill.
Sure. Yeah.
you know,
Right.
And like, it's the Trop. The Troc still has to be there, right?
I
The
believe so.
Trocadero is gone.
Okay.
Is it gone?
See, that,
Yeah,
that blows my
Oh.
mind.
The Troc is gone. It is something, because I saw,
It's
I've o-
something.
I was only at the Troc once, and it was I saw Panic there.
Okay.
And Patrick Stump was running his solo act.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
He was like a
the kinda
solo musician for a little. Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
it was fucking bizarre, but
It
it was
was-
good.
yeah.
But nobody knew what the fuck was going on. But yeah, they closed, and like I'll tell you, my favorite venue still, I think, in Philly is the TLA.
Yeah. TLA.
I don't. It's so good, and it's so intimate, and
Right.
I don't know, like it's always just been the spot. Like I've always loved that place.
Totally.
But yeah, okay, so we'll have to note that. And then so are you guys still writing music and releasing songs?
So that's the thing. Like I said, like Matt and Sean were both in Tokyo Heroes at different times, and this is the first time they're in together. And we just really click musically. We all bring a little something different. And so after playing these shows, we're like, these songs are cool, but like, why don't we try writing stuff? And we've really enjoyed that. So we put together, we're putting together an EP right now. And we've gotten to
That's
record with Fred Mascherino, who's an amazing, he's an amazing musician, the nicest guy ever. And he's got a studio in Westchester called Diver Down Studios. And he gets amazing sounds with him and his assistant engineer, Steve Angelo. Like, really great guys. Steve also plays guitar in Color Fred. So they've kind of been like tag teaming our recording. And it should be out in the next calendar year, we hope.
Okay.
But yeah, we've written,
All right.
almost all of it. Like, it's about 80% done. We just have to track.
That's fucking
Yeah.
So, Eric, if you don't know, Fred, Taking Back Sunday, louder now.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's what I know. That's
Yeah,
the
that's exactly,
TBS that I
yeah.
know.
Yes. Yeah, he came in TBS after John Nolan, and I think he's filling in for John Nolan right now.
Right.
Or was for TBS.
That's right.
I don't know if John Nolan stepped away, but that's awesome, man. Well, we'll definitely be on the lookout for any new. I'm hype, and it was funny. Seth was like, "Man, I tried I don't know if this was like a year ago. He's like, I went to go listen to Tokyo Rose on Spotify, and nothing was there. He's like, I think they were gatekeeping it from they were gatekeeping these bangers.
This music is only for the OGs.
Yeah,
Totally.
right. So awesome, man. Well, we'll definitely be on the lookout for that, and then good luck, man. Good luck with your upcoming shows and
thanks
and
so
the new
much,
music.
man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, thank you for joining us. Also,
Yeah, I
man.
really appreciate it, and making the time and, talking with guys
For
like
sure.
Seth and Dave. Like, we've been huge fans of Dave and May. We never really got to play with May, but we know Zach, who played guitar in May for a long time, from Florida. We used to play shows down there and with his old band called Unsung Zeros. So then when he joined May, we're like, this is cool. We'll see each other on the road. Then we never saw each other on the road. Yeah.
That's how it goes, right?
Got to make it happen still.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, and keep an eye out too, because we're trying to connect with Seth. We're trying to come out. My parents retired and moved out to Vegas, so we're trying to make it happen too to come out there.
There you go.
It all comes full circle.
That sounds very natural.
Yeah,
I think
right.
That sounds like it's gonna happen.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Well, thank you, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thanks so
you
much.
guys. Thank
Nice
you.
talking to you.
Hey,
You as
take
well.
care. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for listening to Daddies the Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, drop a review, and give us a like. We'll see you next time.